and welcome to Top Secret TV. My name's David Becker. On tonight's show we've got Mark and Carla, and they're bringing you some pretty unusual UFO footage in between the lines, so stay tuned for that. But first up we've got Simon Trezellian. Simon's been on the program before speaking about the Vatican and conspiracies and all sorts of interesting things. Tonight we're going to take a bit of a different focus and we're going to go with self-development. Simon, welcome.
Hi David.
How are you?
Very well indeed, thank you.
That's good. So can you tell us a little bit about some of the self-development activities that you teach people?
Surely, we believe that everyone should find their own intrinsic pure power if they're going to succeed in everything in life, be it relationships or be it personally within their workplace. So we use aspects of bringing through the key power or chi power through in various different exercises so people can perform to their proper advancement.
Mm. Is that based on the Chinese philosophy of the energy moving through our bodies?
Yes, that's very true. Say the Japanese tend to call it ki, the Chinese call it chi, but it's also known as prana in Sanskrit or mana in Hawaiian. So every culture at every part of time has always had visions and knowledge of this energy flow, and the ability to harness that has been one of mankind's wishes for all of time.
Mm. So how do some of these exercises, which we'll see in a few minutes, actually help people? Are they a metaphor for overcoming fear? Or?
Yes, of course. Mankind is the only animal that has imagination, and therefore the only animal that actually produces metaphors to be able to take away fear or actually produce performance enhancement in his life. And therefore these exercises are there to be able to gear individuals to be able to access this power, and therefore they can apply that energy in their daily lives.
Mm. What are some of the sorts of people that have come to you to get help in these areas, like athletes and people like that?
Yes, we've actually just had a client in the UK who's now the after our training is now the British all styles full contact karate champion. We have businessmen, corporations come to us for corporate training, right down to the individual who just wants to be better in life.
And while you're in Australia, whereabouts are you showing these techniques?
Well, we're just off to Sydney. We've already done Sydney before. We're obviously in Melbourne now, and we'll be doing a full program in Brisbane, and then we're doing a teacher training course to be able to do all of these things and the firewalking on Mount Tamborine. Right,
okay. For people who are interested, we'll give the address later on, but perhaps we should move into the first technique and see what happens.
Right, okay. Well, as you can see, this is 19mm radiated pine. It's actually quite a thick board, and this is normally found in shelving. It's very good quality. Now what I'm actually going to do first of all is actually show you how to be able to break the board with a normal chi force, which is actually going to be very aggressive and very masculine, and then I'm going to show you how to break the board in very similar fashion but without any power at all, just pure focus and pure chi. Okay. So first of all, the nasty aggressive way. And now, we're going to do a very gentle way, just using a few breaths to bring through the chi energy. And we're going to do this in a very soft way with an open hand, with just a few breaths. No force at all.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. And they're pretty tough.
Yes, but the force is tougher.
So can you
feel
explain...
the force, Luke?
Yeah. Can you explain the difference between the first technique and the second technique?
Well, the first one was actually done with very negative energy, very powerful, very positive force, and that's what a lot of people do to get on in life, and they use a very powerful and sometimes very negative force, but that produces a very negative effect as well. You feel angry, you feel negative. It's like having a bad day when things seem to attract you. But when you actually work with almost like a love force, with an energy of just pure focus, the same result is achieved, but you feel better. So it's a case of good feelings all round, even though the result is exactly the same.
So kind of like the being the reed that bends in the flow,
exactly,
rather than the willow that snaps or whatever.
Yes, very true. And that is a typical sort of key force, key statement. So all of these things are, I say, are metaphors for allowing you to be able to move through the energy as opposed to, or sorry, move through the problems with the energy as opposed to just confronting those problems.
Is there much preparation involved in doing something like that?
Yeah, you certainly need to centre your energy, certainly. And we teach this to people, say how long it takes, about 10 minutes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, well, perhaps we'll try it and I'll give it a shot and we'll see if in 10 minutes I can learn to be a grasshopper.
That'll be wonderful.
Great.
Trust me.
All right. Okay, well, we'll be back in 10 minutes and we'll give it a shot then.
Good evening and welcome to Between the Lines. Good evening, Carla.
Good evening, Mark. How are you this week?
Very, very good. I
Great.
hope you're feeling as well as I.
Always.
Good. Well, we'll get straight into the first story. The first one is called See SETI, because here's hope for the conspiracy readers and ufologists all over the world. See SETI, the Centre for a Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence, has threatened to reveal dramatic evidence for the existence of UFOs and aliens, unless the American government holds a congressional hearing on the subject. In front of 30 congressmen's representatives, founder and director of See SETI, Stephen Greer, said his organisation had around 50 witnesses who are willing to testify at a congressional hearing because their oaths to national security would be waived. One of the witnesses, Donna Ha, is going to speak out about her time at the Johnson Space Centre in Houston. She claims to have seen technicians airbrushing UFOs out of satellite photographs. Another witness, who is ranked highly in the military, claims to have seen an alien intruder being chased and eventually shot on the runway of the McGuire Air Force Base. The push for truth by Greer has been backed by astronaut and moonwalker Dr. Edgar Mitchell. He is quoted as saying, "The body of evidence is overwhelming. The thing here is that the witnesses are not just everyday people who have seen a UFO. These people have top-level military clearance. So, UFO investigators, keep your ear to the ground, because if the US government does not react, Greer will take his case to Congress." That came from Alien Encounters from August '97, Carla.
Wow, about time.
That's some serious stuff because the law or the legal system seems to be the only place that this sort of rot can get worked out.
Well, I mean, I guess some national security oaths might explain why certain individuals who come out with information have to be called Condor or Falcon and their true identity cannot be revealed.
Yes.
Possibly that's a legal problem that they're worried about being put in prison for. So maybe this will work out.
Yeah, I wonder how many people in the street you walk by in Australia who actually are under that sort of oath in an Australian perspective of that situation.
Well, who knows? Maybe that'll start off a worldwide thing, and maybe not too. On the subject of aliens, here's another one. Aliens perform plastic surgery. Author and academic Preston Dennett claimed that alien beings are rushing to aid crash victims in order to perform vital surgery. In his yet-to-be-released book, UFO Healings, Dennett states that ETs regularly swoop to Earth to intervene in traffic accidents. American accident victim Alicia Hansen was thrown face first through a car windscreen in a horrific smash, yet, despite her multiple injuries, there is not a mark on her face. According to Dennett, Alicia believes aliens perform microsurgery to remove any scars. In a separate incident, a 73-year-old grew a third set of teeth after being hit by a beam of light from a UFO. Then there's Sherry and Linda, two sisters who claim that their persistent bouts of thrush, which did not respond to any conventional treatments, had been cured by aliens. The sisters are adamant that the beings whisked them into space to perform these healing miracles. Now, if you're wondering, the aliens concerned were described as having small, pointed heads, large eyes and greenish skin. If you're interested in reading more about these healing encounters, then you'll have to wait until UFO Healings is published sometime next year. And that was from Alien Encounters magazine, August '97 as well. Wonder how the plastic surgeons feel about this.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, most people claim that they have surgery done to them when they don't want it by aliens with no anaesthetic.
Yeah.
And these people, are they going to, in time to come, have problems in life because of the pain that they don't know they had whilst having surgery?
Well, who knows?
Or do you think when they come and do nice things, they actually give you anaesthetic?
I have no idea. I was wondering how good they are. It seems she had no scars, so might be a little bit cheaper than your conventional surgery too.
How many of these people delusional, do you think?
That's a hard question to answer, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a mixed group of people commenting about aliens. I suppose some of them have to be a little bit...
Well, I suppose you get a negative side, you've got to get a positive side. Some hurt, some heal.
Yeah.
It's just like the world, isn't it?
Okie dokie. Now the next story is called Tunnel Trouble. According to sensational new evidence gathered by members of a recent archaeological expedition to Giza in Egypt, a secret tunnel is being excavated in the very heart of the Great Pyramid. An anonymous member of the SCORE expedition has said that while Dr. SCORE and the team were investigating possible geological anomalies around the Great Pyramid, they found evidence that the work was underway inside the narrow passageway that the German-made robot climbed in March 1996. The robot was developed and controlled by Rudolf Gattenbrink, and the film that came from the front-mounted camera sent shockwaves through the world of Egyptology. Some 60 metres along this 8-inch wide ventilation shaft, the robot came to a door, and at this point the Egyptian authorities stopped any further exploration, and until now it was believed the passage was untouched. But a member of the SCORE expedition inadvertently filmed evidence that the new shaft is being tunnelled out from the Grand Gallery towards the Gattebrink door. There are sections of freshly cut limestone and a power cable that leads into the upper chambers. Now what lies at the end of the shaft is debatable. One of the most controversial theories is that it will lead to an ancient library. Eric von Daniken believes that the secrets of the pyramids will be found there and has stated, in the chamber at the end of the shaft they will find writings thousands of years old, probably dating back to the Great Flood, and furthermore it would prove his theories on alien visitation and that the gods found in ancient texts are most likely space travellers. Well, what do you think? Is someone trying to cover up the evidence of the secret chamber? And if so, why? Could it be that history as we know it is a lie, and that someone or something is trying to keep that away from us?
The mystery continues, doesn't it?
Indeed.
So what do you think about that?
I don't know. Well, first of all, I hope there is a tunnel. And second of all, does the Egyptian government have the right to hide information of that calibre?
Well, I guess you really have to find out what the government's motivations were. Is it to hide, or are they afraid that it would be taken by someone else? Are they protecting?
I can understand people wanting to protect what they're doing, but I also think that on something which could kind of uncover something of history that is so important to the whole planet, I think they should be quite open with their actions.
Yeah, I would agree
Because
with
apart from being an Egyptian part of history, it's a world part of history, I think.
And a very important part too.
Definitely.
All right, on to another subject. Brisbane says no to fluoridation. On the 30th of January 1997, the Lord Mayor of Brisbane, Jim Snorley, announced the formation of a committee to decide once and for all if Brisbane would have its water supply fluoridated. On October the 1st this year, the committee brought down its surprise decision that Brisbane's water supply would not be fluoridated. After studying the facts about fluoride, Mr Snorley was quoted as saying, "Anyone who has put fluoride into water could be subject to legal liabilities in the future. Fluoride is a poison. It kills you if you take too much. No city would get away with introducing fluoride now." He also urged other Australian cities to take fluoride out of their water supplies before its long-term effects create legal liabilities. However, there are people who oppose the decision. The Australian Dental Association claims that you would have to drink 45 swimming pools full of water to register a toxic dose. However, the Australian Dental Association may have missed the most important points about this drug. According to local activist Chris McLean, fluoride builds up in our bodies, and we already have a massive dietary intake of fluoride each day. In the words of Chris McLean, there is now proof in the public eye that fluoride is not the wonder drug it is made out to be, and the Mayor of Brisbane has stepped out to say it. And in the words of the Mayor of Brisbane, the dentists have lost the argument. Thanks, New Dawn, for that story. It's a really important issue. I'm sick of talking about it, but
I know it goes on forever, isn't it? It's a philosophy which is playing with the lives of Australians, unfortunately.
well, you know, you hear in this article they're calling it a drug. I didn't think it was right to put a drug into a water supply. Is it? Is that an act of
I read
terrorism?
somewhere that it's illegal to drug any populace under the World something or other Act.
Yeah, World Health Organisation
Something like
Act
that.
or something. But anyway, maybe it's about time we start thinking about taking it out. If maybe money will talk, if it's going to create legal problems, maybe
Well, that's
something
where
will
the
happen.
changes happen, I think, is when as soon as people have to put their hand in their pocket, that's where it all happens. I mean, it's funny, though, that we've got that split sort of feel in Australia where Melbourne, we're getting fluoride wedged into us like it's going out of business.
Tough tea, yeah.
And the other end of Australia, you've got a mayor, which I presume is intelligent, you know, stating something completely different. But enough on fluoride.
Enough.
The next story is of a Mexico UFO. Here are video screen captures from the sensational Mexico City UFO video, which is currently under computer analysis by a major university in Mexico. The video was taken on August 6, 1997, and was delivered anonymously to legendary Mexican UFO journalist and researcher Jaime Maussan. Maussan analysed the video by testing various display modes with a computer and by zooming digitally on the image. He concluded it was highly likely that it was a genuine. The video itself lasts just less than 30 seconds and shows the object about 50 feet in diameter, moving in and around some Mexico City high-rise apartment buildings at the height of about 200 feet under overcast conditions.
Oh, well,
Now-
that's something, isn't it?
As you saw on that footage, you saw the UFO moving, and then they've actually put it together to trace the
final shot.
movement. Now, apparently that's got something to do with a cloaking method that UFOs apparently use.
What do you mean by cloaking?
Well, there was the reason that it was seen, a cloaking method had not been employed apparently on the UFO. And whilst they've captured it, they've been able to show the actual path of the UFO, which is quite interesting.
Oh, wow. Well, here's some more. There's been a UFO crash, apparently. The following video footage was anonymously given to the Mexico City 60 Minutes team last February. It shows an illuminated object crashing somewhere in an American desert. So have a look at this.
This footage was given anonymously to the Mexico City 60 Minutes team last February.
It's authentic. You know, it's spinning. It's self-illuminating. One of the most significant clips ever in the history of UFO work. Nobody is asking for any money for it. Lends credence to our belief that it's authentic.
I see what I think is a slow leak of information to prepare the public for something that might happen out of their control.
It's a little bit bizarre, isn't it? Well, we've got some good footage on for you tonight. But as for what you make of it, go for it. And if you want to write in your opinion, don't forget to write in to Top Secret TV. But that's all for tonight with Between the Lines. And back over to you, David Becker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is my attempt. Yes, excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll treasure this. I'll take it home. Woohoo!
Okay, so the next exercise we're going to do is to show how a person become immensely strong just with a bit of mental focus. So kind of what I'd like you to do is put your arm out, clench your fist, and David, just place one hand there and one hand on the fist. Now kind of just want you to look around you as if you haven't got a care in the world and resist, David. David, you're going to bend your arm back. Resist, resist. Okay, that's good. Now, what I want you to do is to pick a spot on the wall. Put your arm out again, and instead of clenching your fist now, I just want you to point to that spot. I want you to point and focus your entire energy on that spot. Feel the energy coming through from the center, and I want you to flow the energy. It's flow. Your finger will not leave that spot. Okay, David, try it again. Flow, 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 flow. How does it feel? How powerful does that feel?
Much stronger. Yeah.
That's what happens in life. If you decenter, if you don't look around, if you don't focus on what you want in life, you become weak. As soon as you do something simple, like pointing and focusing on what it is you want, you become immensely strong. See the difference?
I do. I
Amazing.
felt it.
Is that
Definitely.
all through, like, all parts of your body? It doesn't, not just
Yeah,
arms?
it's about positive feeling, positive thinking. And it's these type of elements that you can apply then in your daily life to become immensely powerful.
Wow. Right, so what's this next exercise?
Well, this is an exercise to show how powerful you are when you actually go with the flow, when you don't actually resist things. So many times in our life when we're resisting, we become weak because we're fronting up against these things. So what I'm actually going to do is that you two, as strong lads, are going to actually lift me up and I'm going to resist you. Okay? So I'm a 15 stone guy, I'm going to resist you. Yeah, okay. So you see, strong guys, you can actually lift me up there, so that's not a problem.
Yeah.
What I'm actually going to do now is actually start to move my body with universal laws and to start to flow the energy through. And we'll just see the difference, okay? Okay.
It's
you can't
really,
move it.
no, it's really weird.
What I'm actually doing, you see, is just going with the flow.
So
I'm
is
not
there
resisting at all.
a magnetic current or something connecting you, in a sense, like a universal
I
force
thought, yeah,
magnetic current? No,
the
not like
magnets
magnet
on my
shoes,
no.
But are you, like, grounding yourself or something?
Yeah, I'm actually being aligning myself with the natural earth energy. And as soon as you become aligned to your actual natural energy, again, you become incredibly strong.
Are there limits to this? I mean, if we got 8 people in and we all grabbed a bit of you and tried to lift, we still wouldn't be able to lift you?
It would take a fair few.
Really?
It really would take a fair few.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. All right. Okay, what's next on the agenda?
Right. Well, another aspect of this energy flow is to show just how strong least resistance is I'm going to clench your fist, you're going to place your hand there, and place one hand on there, and I'm going to resist you, and you've got 2 hands against my one, so resist. Right, okay. And now I'm not going to resist. You can see when my muscles were taut then, this time around, I'm actually not even going to use any arm muscles whatsoever, and I'm actually going to waggle my fingers at you just to show that I've got no muscles going there at all, and you'll see the difference. Okay. Okay, go.
Far out. It's definitely heaps harder. That's
It's
amazing.
because the energy is beginning to flow out, and you're saying, going with the universal laws, and you become incredibly strong.
Can you use this in, like, physical adversity? Say if you're a rock climber or something really physically strong and you have to wedge yourself between, in a rock chimney or
course.
something. These sort of techniques come in handy.
Yeah. I mean, anything where you are, if you start to confront, it's almost like a tree. Let's say with the wind, that's when you break. It's actually going with the flow, going with the energy. Then you become strong.
This is quite counterpunctual to, I understand that you've done some karate training.
Yeah, I'm
Or
a
you're
martial arts
actually-
instructor.
yeah.
So I was 19 years in military special forces as well. But
Is that flown out of that, or is this
a
something...
little bit, a little bit. Certainly the self-belief and some of the courage and determination, which obviously are hallmarks of my old job. What I tend to do now is actually use these qualities to bring it into also the corporate and the individual workplace to allow people to be able to feel their excellence.
All right, now our second last technique is a bit more of an adventurous one.
It is indeed, and for
yes.
this I will definitely have to take you away
Yep.
and to show you exactly what to do.
All right, well, we'll do that and we'll come back. Okay, this is Simon's wife, Madonna. How you going, Madonna?
Hi, very well, thanks.
That's good. Now I understand you're going to, in conjunction with Simon, demonstrate another personal development technique.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
That's right. What we're going to do, this is the arrow process, and what Madonna's going to do is actually place the point of the arrow, it's a normal sporting arrow, as we can see, normal arrow, and she's going to place it into her throat. She's going to be millimetres away from her trachea. I'm going to hold this board, newly broken board, and she's going to place the other end of the arrow against this board. Then she's actually going to build her energy up and then walk through the arrow to this board, and the arrow will bend and break. And if I didn't trust this, I wouldn't put my wife, whom I love, in this situation. So this is what we're going to do. So you're going to place it against there. I'm not going to move. I'm going to stay rigid. Let's say it's millimetres away from the softest part of her anatomy. Wonderful, wonderful.
There we go.
There we go. One broken arrow. Madonna's actually one of the only Australian firewalk instructors and self-empowerment instructors on the continent.
Congratulations.
She's done this many times.
Thank you. It's great stuff.
Fancy a go?
Yes.
Right,
First
go
you're going
for
to
it.
tell me how to do it, though.
Yeah, exactly
So
right.
we'll come back in a sec. We're back. I love you, Mum and Dad. There?
Okay, yep. That's it. 1 foot forward. Best foot forward. Remember, you've got to walk as if you're going somewhere in life. You've got to go, you've got to go. Ooh, yes! Wonderful!
Thank
Well,
you.
good stuff, good stuff.
Saved my throat, but almost took out your eye.
I told you it's a dangerous business.
Yeah. That's
How's
an
that
amazing. Good. That's an amazing, like, overcoming fears kind
Yeah.
of an exercise. You
It's
just
actually-
think,
yeah,
God, this is
exactly.
really irrational. I shouldn't be doing this.
Well, it doesn't, because obviously you've seen all the cowboy films,
Yeah.
you've seen what arrows can do to people.
Yeah.
But it was interesting that you actually had a little bit of difficulty initially
Yeah.
going through that, and that may sum up some things that you have in life that you just want to take that extra step to be able to achieve what you want to achieve. And now that you have a metaphor, you have a very powerful reference to go back to. The next time you stutter, or the next time you almost go for it, you think back to that point of time when you were in that space last, and then you just look ahead and you just go for it,
Yeah.
and you'll be there.
Yeah.
Success.
Excellent.
Great. Well done.
I appreciate that. That was very good.
Excellent stuff.
Okay, so the last and most exciting one of all is, and I expect this requires the most courage.
Yeah, indeed, because we wanted to do the firewall, but of course you couldn't fit it into the studio. So what we're going to do now is something which is going to be quite confronting for a lot of people. And this is the glass walk. We've got a lot of broken glass, and all beer bottles, wine bottles. The hardest thing was actually drinking all the wine and beer to get the glass. But these are normal glass, and what we're going to do is lay it out. I'm going to condition you beforehand, and then with all your mental faculties in order and power, you will be able to then walk across the glass with any cuts whatsoever, any injuries.
And like people talk about with firewalking, a lot of different techniques, like you're creating an energy field that's protecting you from the heat or whatever. Is there any kind of metaphysics involved in this?
Only an absolute belief in your power to be able to transcend what is obviously a very difficult and potentially very dangerous situation. This is why we must make sure that no one actually just tries this at home. You do need a lot of conditioning and energy to be able to walk safely across the glass. Glass cuts, I mean that's just a law of physics. However, what we are going to do is actually transcend the laws of physics now, so that you'll walk deliberately on the glass and that you'll get to the other side uncut.
All right, look forward to it. So we'll go and do the training, and we'll be back momentarily. All right, we're back. This might be my last show, so... No, what we're going to do now is perhaps the pièce de résistance, the finale, glass walking. Can you explain a little bit about this?
Surely, well, this is very much a metaphor for life. Sometimes we walk in places which are quite dangerous for us. Sometimes we work in areas which are uncomfortable. And providing you actually keep your focus on where you want to be, it doesn't really matter on what's going on underneath you. And with this particular technique, as we've discussed already, it's about sheer deliberation and ability to be able to focus your intent and your energy. And providing you're able to harness that energy and intent, then you'll be able to walk through the glass without any cuts whatsoever.
Okay.
So I'm going to demonstrate this first of all.
Yep.
As you can see, no cuts, no blood. Easy.
Well done.
The glass is yours, my friend.
Thank you. And I don't look down, I just focus on...
Just focus on where you want to be in life.
It's very hard not to look down, isn't it?
Yes, well done.
Thank
well
you.
done.
Could have taken that last step, but I thought, no, I'm at the end, I can feel the clog.
Any cuts?
No cuts.
Excellent. How do you feel?
Good. I feel fantastic. I feel powerful.
Thank you very much
Thank you.
indeed. And well done. It's nice to see someone that wants to push their limits a little bit
Yes,
further.
absolutely. Anything for the viewing audience out there.
What a sacrifice.
Now, if people are really interested in overcoming fears and in self-development, how do they go about contacting you?
Well, we have an address here in Australia. It's a Starfire office in Australia. The telephone number is 02 9437 4716. So that's the Starfire office. Also, catch us on our website, which is http://www.starfire-world.com. And that will tell you everything about what we're doing, both corporately and privately. And we'll be very happy to speak to people and see them empowered too.
Great. And you're coming out to Australia like quite often, at least once a year, sometimes
Yeah,
twice?
about twice a year we come now, and we're coming out next May. And we're hoping to do quite a few corporates during that time, and basically just raise the level of empowerment in Australia.
Fantastic. All right, it's always been a pleasure. Thank you once again for coming in.
No problems. Thanks, David.
We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
Okay, that's all we have time for this week. Stay tuned for more Local Vision programming, and that's all we have for tonight, so good night.